Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Looking at the state of water around planet Earth, one of the things that we have to worry about is, do we have enough potable water, not only for human beings, but for animals, and then to grow our food as far as the plants are concerned, and to keep alive the microorganisms in the soil, because it takes all four of us working together to have civilization on planet Earth. And Global Water Group has actually been ahead of the curve by decades, looking at the issue of water and how to actually generate new water, but pure new water. That's a huge difference. This is Weiss. He's the president, CEO, Inventor for the Global Water Group. And he's talking about how do we get here, but when we're actually here as far as this map is concerned. And so we have this huge map. We have some yellow areas, but we see huge red and bright orange areas all across the globe, including the United States, even up into Canada. So Alan, looking at the state of water and the fact of, we see this as our ideal, but we're looking at this map. What is this really telling us?
Well, it's a map about the shortages with regard to drinking water. And even though there may be a lot of water in some places, they don't have good drinking water. Mm-hmm. So if we need to have it, we got to get the systems there quickly that could cure the problem.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to be talking about a unique situation. This is disaster recovery. And so we're going to be looking at different projects and some other countries. But looking at this backpack, looking at this, how do we think this directly relates to water?
Each of those backpacks is a water purification system. Mm-hmm. And they're designed for special forces so that they could jump into an area from 33,000 feet, hit the ground, find a mud puddle if they have to, and put a hose in the water, and 2 minutes later, get the best water in the world coming out of it. Mm. And our military depends on the quality of water for survival wherever they are on the planet if they can't count on the water in so many locations.
Mm-hmm. And as we saw from the map, they really can't. Jumping from the backpack into this trailer, but it seems like the same thing is going on. It's just bigger in scale, size, and amount of water it will provide. Am I correct?
Well, this is a desalinization system, mm-hmm. and it's for an emergency use. Happened to be for the Turkish Navy, and we delivered that to Foça in Turkey. And it's a 14,400 gallon a day desalinization system. It is state of the art. And it's very interesting how they can call us after they first use it to say, what did you do to make this water so good? And the only thing we did is nothing. What we did was we cleaned it and we got rid of the bad stuff. We left all the good stuff in. Whatever good stuff needed to be added, we did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this stuff and stuff. Tell us about this equipment.
Well, inside that trailer, you have to have some big membranes to take out 14,400 gallons a day, because in salt water, in order to hit the level of salt that we provide for the military, which is substantially more than what the U.S. military normally provided over the last 50 years, you have to take in at least 3 times the amount of seawater to get one part of fresh water coming out.
This is because you're really producing pure water. I've seen this image before. It has intrigued me ever since I've seen it. What's going on here, and why is this so special?
Well, that was at a refugee camp in Syria 30 years ago. And what we did was immediately gave them equipment that we could, again, purify the water they were bringing in. They would bring water in and put it in these very large bladders that sat along the ground, and they may be 25,000 gallon bladders, and who knows what kind of water they put in there. And we had to take out all the dirt, take out all of the bad stuff that's in there, parasites, hazardous chemicals, and everything, and then purify the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is an amazing looking system, but it's so elegant as it's just sitting there. And that's one of the things I think is so amazing about this. You have these mobile units behind you. Why are these important?
Well, again, these are used for emergency. This is the Florida National Guard. We were at a show that they were demonstrating their units. And it was a desalinization system so that they could move it anywhere there was flooding or anything else. They moved those into the islands when they had hurricanes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is getting a little larger, so tell us about the size and scale of this and the type of terrain and also the type of conditions where these machines will be operating.
Well, this is water purification, not desalinization, and it's a 20,000 gallon a day system, also owned by the Florida National Guard.
Mm-hmm. Now, looking at this, desalinization going to this, how many gallons are you able to desalinate with this system, which looks on the surface to be about the same size, but what is the difference as far as the output?
You don't see it on the other side.
Oh,
And
okay.
the other side are the membranes that take out the salt water. So it actually produces less water than this system.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have salt water, you can produce it 3 times the level.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead and let's just talk through some of these and the unique nature of these and what are we actually seeing?
Well, these 2 units were the freshwater units of Florida National Guard. Very interesting, great group of military men, and really dedicated. They came up once to try the system before they got it delivered. And the first thing the sergeant on the left said at our plant, he said, is it okay if I have that unit outside and take it apart? And he did just that. And for 3 days, he took it apart and put it back together again. He knows more about our system than any other one person on this planet.
But the whole thing about that really it goes to the heart of my question is you train people to maintain these, but actually it seems like they're very simple.
Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows because he has to have 18-year-old kids in the military to run these things.
Right, right. So it must be simple. Tell us more.
This is training special forces in Fort Bragg. And we were explaining to them how to run a system that became the major mobile system for the special forces. It's an 8,000 gallon a day system. It's called the M8000. Mm-hmm. And it is just so simple. Everything is computer controlled. It's very easy for them to run anywhere in the world. And they have them all over. That's in 40 countries, in 5 continents with the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm. Now, going to the special operations, why must they take their own water? It looks like, we go around the world, there's always going to be water. We're spoiled in the United States in most cases. But what is the situation they're facing when they go into, say, the African continent or Southeast Asia, Latin America? What are they finding there, and why must they have this type of system?
They're finding water they can't drink. They don't have time to boil water and go through it. They have to be able to pump water out of some location, fill up their canteens, and move on. And that's what they're there for. Many times it's security, many times they're helping countries with other things, and they have to have quality water. They can't be sick 2 hours later. So they have to rely on this. And we have been selling the U.S. Special Forces of every branch for the last 30 years.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, this looks like a very relaxed group, but I understand they probably know as much about your systems as you do. And yet, they are the ones that are almost the backbone as far as any deployment around the world, whether it's for national disaster relief or anything else. Why do we have to start focusing on this age group? And that's going to take us through 2050 and beyond.
Well, because water is so important. And you were absolutely right about how much they know and what they can do. So much so that the sergeant on the right there, when I came, they asked us to give them another presentation of how the equipment worked. They had bought 5 of these units with solar panels and everything, those M8000s I just showed you, and they were going to deploy into South America. And they needed to have a review course on it. And I started to talk to the sergeant, and I said, "Did you read the manual?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Good, you conduct the class." And he did. And he did it better than I could have done it. And it is amazing how smart these kids are, how dedicated they are, and how important it is to make sure that they have the best water in the world.
Yeah. And the whole thing about it, too, is they're dedicated to each other and they're dedicated to their mission. And that really motivates you. Now, this is a very looking configuration. Why is this so different?
Well, this is different. This is how we got into the wastewater recycling business. We got a call from ExxonMobil on a drilling rig out in the Caspian Sea, and they had bought one of these systems that ate up a lot of the sludge, not all of it. They were going to dump it, but the effluent, they were not allowed to dump. The government, where they were going to be drilling offshore, told them if they killed one sturgeon in that water, that they were going to lose their $100 million oil rig. And so we designed these just to recycle that water and to purify it so that they could drink it. And they have been running that since 1999.
That is absolutely amazing. This is a very elegant looking system as well. Tell us what we're seeing. And we're almost running out of time, Alan, and I will have a last question for you.
But this is our first mobile, small, one gallon a minute desalinization system that we had to make so that it would fit in parts in a canoe, and they would bring it through the Delta in Nigeria, where they would use it on drilling rigs so they have fresh water for the troops that guarded the drilling rigs in Nigeria. We sent 35 of those to Nigeria.
Yeah. And this is, and we're getting to where I want to be in just a second. But it seems like it's very easy to move these around. So you have different sizes. You can move these around globally. But I want to go out with this. Why Mickey Mouse? And you've got 15 seconds to say why Mickey Mouse and why it's important for Disney World.
They called and said, "We have a problem. If there's ever an earthquake and we're out of water, we can't pump water and everything else. We are responsible for 72 hours for all the people in the park. Can you give us water out of all these lakes we have that are really undrinkable?" And we did that.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse, you saved him. Alan M. Weiss, thank you for being with us as we create Emerald Planet.
Thank you, sir.